even double checks the area, he's always wearing a mask. Either he's wearing a cloth mask that covers his face, or he's wearing his rebreather and goggles, but you never get a good look at his face. You don't even get to see what skin color he's like. He's always wearing heavy clothing, even if he's not in his body glove, which he's usually in when on the job.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you have any visible weapons? If people looked at you, could they see
Yes.
on your body?
On his hip is a hand cannon, and on his back are two weapons, a sniper rifle and an auto gun.
Nice. You sort of carry that around.
Yes.
Have you been in the Inquisition for a long time? Or is this your first mission?
No, he has done jobs for the Inquisition before.
Awesome. So as you're detaching from the inquisitorial vessel, you start to sort of glide through this misty clouds almost above the world. It's only when you reach a little bit below them that you realize that it's pollution. You start out of your small landing vessel, an Aquila lander. You see a shimmering metallic surface, almost like looking through the ocean and seeing fish swimming far, far, far down in the ocean. It starts to shimmer when you realize that this is the planet's surface. As you look around, it's covered in a dim blue light. And you've read about the system. It's from the nearby star Syrinx Tyrannus. You start to see factory hives and manufactura sort of pierce up from the planet's surface, occasionally reflecting this bluish light, which kind of scatters through the little cabin you're sitting in. The planet's surface is irradiated, completely toxic. And from orbit, as you start to approach, you can see Assembly 010, this huge spire stretching above the polluted clouds. It is a mountain-high hive, and that's where the ruling council exists, the Quorum Primus. It is also the home of the cult Mechanicus. You'll see massive exploratory cruisers slowly gliding over the planet's surface in orbit. Some of them are nearing the assembly and they land to unload valuable information. You know that they also have servitors, and all of this information is stored in underground data looms. The entire world is mechanical. The explorator fleets also kind of populate the world. It has a very low birth rate, but every heretic from the sector is sent here to be turned into a servitor and to serve the cult. There are also non-cybernetic citizens, or menials. They are the second largest population after these servitors. They live in industrialized cities, kind of scattered around, mainly around the assembly itself. And they work and honor the cult. They often wear tattoos, fake cybernetics, which are very expensive. The least numerous group is the cult Mechanicus itself. And they are an elite group, even local to this planet, but they accept other cult members from other worlds. Although you have to be authorized and go through several rituals and so on to be recognized, especially if you want to work in the assembly. You will have your own time to sort of walk around the room, get a decaf, maybe read the briefing, and you'll know that communities outside of assembly are designed to look like industrial cities. So imagine kind of like in a modern city, or a little bit dystopian version of a modern city. Menials, who you'll be mostly meeting, compete for status with extravagant void suits and advanced vehicles. Some of them are quite wealthy and enjoy a lot of freedoms. And as you start to land, you'll see these biodomes where people grow food and have very, very precious natural ingredients like wood and organic matter. This is more valuable than diamonds in our world, since most of their people here live their entire lives indoor. They rely on natural light through these powerful UV filters and void suits. Despite all of these measures, you read that the planet is full of mutations. They're common and regulated by the Assembly. Occasionally some of these mutations go a little bit awry and they have to do some bombing or cleansing. And they might even exterminate an entire city if the gene pool can't be salvaged. As far as your transportation and travel, communities are kind of connected by these tunnels and destroyed roads. There's very little protection other than the occasional convoys that goes from city to city. They are heavily armored and protected from mutants, gangs, and so on. Most people never leave their city, they just stay in one place. And you know that there are vastly different cultures on the world. Some so isolated that they developed completely alien cultures, and when discovered, they just have to be cleansed. And between all of these habitable areas are just endless manufactura, forges, a vast desert of metal junk, abandoned outposts, settlements. And whenever the Quorum Primus decides to enter a new area, they might level an entire city, which is what this world consists of, just the leveling of cities upon cities and upon manufactura. Because of this, there's also an underground network of caverns, old manufactura, that stretch almost all the way to the planet core. You are gonna approach the assembly, land, and be met by your inquisitorial contacts. They point you in the direction of the destroyed research base that the warband has set up a base. We can do this kind of like just a summary. So you're gonna drive there, you're gonna meet up with them, and we can take that little scene of you seeing him as your... If you remember from the end of last session, you were just coming up this transport elevator, this cargo elevator, when you see this man in the horizon walking through a blue mist. As he walks up to you, you immediately can tell that there's something different about him. And as that happens, you hear a voice on the Vox comms. Hello? And that's where we can begin, in character. And we can begin with Corax. Where are you right now in the vehicle?
Driver's seat.
Awesome. So what is your position? Just leaning back, like relaxed, or you? What would Octavius see when he approaches the vehicle?
Well, imagine a robotically piloted vehicle. He is basically erect, alert, but static. Basically, the appearance would just be like a robot that's permanently attached to the driver's seat to pilot the vehicle. That is his sole function.
Nice. So you'll see a tech priest react as soon as you appear out of the fog. Next to him, Doc, James.
Yeah, what the fuck is that?
Where are you? What do you look like?
In the passenger seat, right next to the driver, you see what would, to you, would be a generic Kriegsman, including heavily battle-damaged armor. You see like a massive dent in my chest piece. You would also see a haphazard-looking black power fist, just calmly resting on my knee.
Awesome. Beautiful.
I'm laid back a little bit. My feet aren't kicked up, but you definitely tell that I'm lounging out. I'm relaxed.
Nice, I can
It
see
appears we have another recruit.
Yes, I hope this one's not a psyker.
Torium.
Yes.
What do people see on this
So Torian is sat there with his staff on his back, shield on his side. He's got that knife attached to his belt. His cloak sort of open. He's looking at the new recruit. It's quite interesting. As he sort of snakes towards the vehicle.
Nice. Small. Do you have any visible weapons? Torium?
Yeah, I got the staff. I have on my back. And I've got some knife that they can see when I haven't got my robe all tightened up.
Are you worn, or do you carry any signs of having been on this world? Are you different now from when you arrived? In any way?
Not on the surface, no.
Is your would your character be more tired? More
I'd look a bit tired, but the doorbell's just running to go and get something.
say again?
Yes, what I call this dog, sir. Plan up.
Diskin, where are you and what do you look like?
I am a 6'2" tall, evidently guardsman. What do you call it? I'm actually sitting at the rear of the vehicle. I haven't actually acknowledged you, and basically just panning the gun left, right, just in a very mechanical sort of thing, just scanning the horizon while we've stopped. So it is secure that, what do you call it, this team has his back.
Awesome. Nice. And you would see Octavius. You would see a grey tan, almost looks like a van, an armoured van. And it has metal plates welded onto it on several points. You can tell that at some point the entire top was torn off as someone has tried to weld it shut again. It looks like a complete mess, but you can hear the revving of the engine, and being familiar with this world, you know that a tech priest would designate it as a powerful machine spirit. As it roars through this blue mist, you walk up to the rest of the group. How do you greet them?
He just gently knocks on the... He wraps his knuckles along the window.
Nice. As you see Diskin walk out and approach you. Diskin, are you wearing your armor?
Yep, wearing armor, what do you call it, not wearing the duster. So it's, you can see that it's all, what do you call it, light enforcer armor. It's, what do you call it, camouflaged. Not unfortunately for this environment. It's more of a sort of forest camouflage. And he's got his hand on his pistol. It says Lasgun slap in the back. And it's approaches you and says, "Who are you?"
And that's where we begin. So we're in the scene, in character. And go.
The boss has sent me.
What boss?
Our boss. He makes the sign of the Inquisition very subtly.
I glance at the dock.
I glance back at Corex and I shrug and I say, "Get the fuck in."
I open the door and say, "After you."
Steps inside.
And I go to the rear and take up the gun again.
As you step inside, you're gonna hear this vacuum sound. As the door closes, you can feel the cold air. You can even see this slight fogginess on your visor. And as you take off your helmet and breathe, the air smells of sulfur and burnt metal. As you look around, there are 3 long seats. Kind of looks like a minivan. In the back is an autocannon. You pay very close attention to the things around you. You can tell that there are only 10 rounds left in the autocannon. And it looks like it has been used. For information, occasionally I might drop in and just give a description of the area that you're in, but that just keep going after I do that. Just to, yeah. So,
what's the situation?
Do you not have any information from the Inquisitor?
I do, but it looks like you guys have been in a fight.
Well, normally most planets we're sent to, we normally fight.
Who?
Why do I feel like he got briefed very shittedly? What do you think, Corex? What about you guys? Do you think he got a really shit briefing?
Yes. Were you briefed before this mission?
To be fair, if he can hit something with this autocannon, I don't care if he's been briefed or not.
State your name for the internal record.
You get
Shade.
instant inspiration points. And it won't be the last.
You move with exceptional grace, Shade.
I intend to.
Fucking dance.
Is this your primary role, to skulk?
More or less.
Excellent. Subtlety would be most appreciated.
We got into a scrap with a few mutants.
I
They're
see.
dead now. We killed every last one of them. No
Good.
survivors. If you have any relevant information from the Inquisitor to give us, now would be the time to say so, as we are about to head out on our next mission.
None, I'm afraid.
Then take your seat and prepare for leave.
Yes, we should probably brief you. We are going to, I believe, go and hack into the network of this planet, I believe. I think that's what we're going to do, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, just clarify.
So, Shade, I see that you've actually got a sniper rifle there. I'm assuming you're a good shot.
I'd like to think so.
Okay. You want to have a go at this bad boy? Because all I've been worrying is the what do you call it, asphalt.
Beautiful roleplay. You all get an inspiration point. I love it.
At which point then I stand up and offer him the gun seat.
He accepts, takes the gun, and begins to scan the area.
I sit opposite Torian.
He lowers his prey sense goggles as well to assist to look through the fog, the mist.
Nice. Beautiful. I love that you're in.
Well, let's hope you can hit something more than I can.
Yeah, because he fucking sucks. All right, Corex, take us out of here.
He is not favoured by Nuffle.
Okay, Gray, you're gonna
Shut up,
see
witch.
this huge station emerging out of rocks in the mountain. There are 2 floodlights on either side. There's also a giant turret on the ceiling. At some point, this place was attacked. There are bomb craters surrounding it, but the base itself seems to have been repaired, patched up. You very quickly surmise that this is the base that they briefed you about.
Seems like this place has been hit as well.
Are we stopped or are we still going?
No, you're in the vehicle. He said, it seems like this place has been hit. He said that to you guys.
Korax's ever-present dissector skull folds up its scalpel arms and rests itself on the dash. And Korax, 2 cables from underneath Korax's robes. One connects to the vehicle, the other one connects to the servo skull. And he hits the gas.
Nice. Love the description. So that's since this is like an intro thing for you, Shade. Anything that lets other players visualize the scene is amazing. We love that. As much of that as possible. Whenever you do that, you gain an inspiration point. Inspiration points can be used to reroll anything that doesn't deal damage. And then you're off. Alright guys, where do you want to go?
I believe we were planning on going to Wayland.
We were going.
That is a negative.
You were going to Wayland Lursek, and then you arranged after that you were going to go and research, look at the research facility.
I thought we said we were first going to go on, like, hacking to something, is what I believe, because we were talking about the demons. The
you were saying you were going to, at least this is what I caught in the chat. You were going to Wayland Lursek. You were going to talk to the Illuminator. You wanted to do something with him, and you hoped that maybe he would leverage something, or
I think,
and hopefully wherever he's at has access to a mainframe.
That's what. Yeah, that was the main.
Yeah, that's what I heard you say.
Yeah, so let's continue with that plan.
Sounds good.
All right, guys, load into the van. Let's get the fuck out of here.
So you're gonna hear the door slam.
I roll the window down and I slam my hand twice onto the side door, trying to get them to hurry the fuck up and get in.
Okay. Yeah. As you start driving, the vehicle shakes and starts to tumble down this hill. It's full of junk, old manufactura that have been blown up and smashed to smithereens. As you look over the horizon, there's this even glow of an orangey bluish light. Cirrus Tyrannus is just appearing over the horizon. As you're sitting there looking at each other, there's this eerie quiet that fills the vehicle. And I want you to do a D100 roll. To fill you in on this, Octavius, this is a random encounter roll, or a random event roll.
Yeet.
Nice. So, as you start driving towards Wayland Lursek, you see something in the horizon. It looks like a dust cloud being kicked up far, far away. It's a vehicle. You can all do an awareness test. Awesome. Korax, you're going to be the first to see this vehicle. You see what looks like one of these same gangers that you met before, and they're just crossing the road in front of you. You're running up against them unnoticed. They have no idea that you're there. Would you like to slow down and let them pass, or catch up?
Gun it, Corax. Let's catch this motherfucker.
Okay, he does.
Are you sure? You don't have to do what he says.
Well, no, but I was going to recommend that we avoid them, but he wants to go after them, so.
Shade, get ready on the autocannon.
Yes, sir.
It's time to prove yourself.
What's happening? Why are we going faster? What's going on?
Foot mobiles up ahead.
Road warriors.
Alright. So, you're gonna floor it, and we're gonna take a 2-minute pause.
Exciting.
Dun, 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 dun.
I hope this is someone important.
It's a random encounter.
Maybe we can use their body.
For clarification, clues and even mission-critical events happen during random encounters. So there can absolutely be critical things for the mission during.
Okay, that's cool.
Yep. Alright,
So sorry, what do you call it? I actually froze.
That's
Oh,
so
sorry.
bad at awareness tests that they end up fucking. Everybody just seems like they're tripping balls and don't understand what the hell they're seeing. Again.
Yeah, I haven't introduced you yet, Squall, because I assumed you wanted to be invisible, and you have the choice to do that.
Oh yeah, no. I've got 8 degrees of success on my stealth roll.
I'm not surprised. Whenever you want to prepare, just let me know. Don't, yeah. Okay, guys.
Perhaps we should attempt to capture one of these individuals this time.
Oh, well, you know in times I've recommended that, and fuckwad points a thumb at Torian, keeps killing them all.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we can begin there. You have a total advantage over him. You're driving uphill on this metally surface, occasionally hitting bumps, hitting tubes. The vehicle shakes. Through the front window, you see this vehicle start to pick up pace. As soon as you drive faster, it's driving as fast as it can. Occasionally, it bumps off a tube and skids across the surface. You'll see metal parts and debris sort of be pushed aside as this cloud builds up behind it. Corax,
I believe in you, Corax.
what do you want to do?
Floor it.
Floor it. Your movement is 20, 30. Tactical.
Vehicle.
Tactical distance.
Tactical speed is 15.
15.
I just got 3 degrees success, so that's 30 now.
Okay, you can use a measuring tool.
Oh, I forgot to add my maneuverability, so it'd be 35.
Alright, so it'll be up here. You can go ahead and move the vehicle. Awesome. As you approach, you see that you have a faster top speed than this one. I'm gonna skip time ahead. They're not gonna do any actions. They're just gonna try to get away from you. Your vehicle has a more powerful engine. So move your vehicle anywhere you want. Okay. This simulates about 30 seconds, 40 seconds of driving, where you're basically going to floor it. You're going to hear the revving of the engine start to pick up. And it sounds almost terrifying. All of you now can see through your window the shaking of this armored car below you. Occasionally, a man with a helmet is going to frantically look over his shoulder. You see that he's visibly nervous. What do you do? All of you can act.
I roll down the window and tell him to pull over.
Your voice is completely muffled by the sound of the roaring engines.
I reach my hand out and point over to the curb of the road, on the side of the road.
So you have a Kriegsman leaning out of the window, pointing to stop, and he's not gonna do that. He's not convinced.
Alright, as soon as I see that he's not convinced, I go back in, I look down at him while he's driving, and I just roll the window back up while maintaining a look on him. And then as soon as the window's up, I look over to Korax, and I say, "Pit stop this bitch."
Korax is going to reach over to his dissector skull, unplug from it, and hand it to Doc. Toss disc in their view.
I nod my head. I roll down the window again, lean a little bit out. I have it hidden behind my back. I point over again to the side of the road. Does he look over to the side of the road?
You're gonna see a accomplice appear in the back seat. He's sitting on all four and he's climbing up to the window. He's wearing some kind of mask. He looks kind of like Bane in the Batman. As he looks out the window, you think you can hear a voice screaming. You're not sure what it's saying.
Well,
I throw
they're
the skull
not
into the cab of the car.
Well, that's happening. What he called, I've stood up and attached myself to a line. What he called, so that I can exit the back quickly if we come to a stop.
Awesome.
At this point, you're going to hear across your comm bead, "I've got this." As a shadow that's been attached to the top of this van this whole entire time, he stretches out a very bulky pistol and shoots his grapple line to the top of their van and pulls himself over.
You probably hear like a slight gunshot. And I want you to do a ballistics test for me, Squall.
Who was that?
I begin pounding the dash saying, "It's my favorite person. He's got to do some cool shit. Y'all just watch this one."
You have no idea.
Who is it?
Most of you haven't seen this guy before. But if you look up on the ceiling now, you're gonna see a giant, towering man standing there. He has suddenly appeared out of nothing. And he's standing with a rope stretched out from his hand to the top of this vehicle. Squall.
That would be 1 degree success.
Complete success.
So,
what do you want to do?
I will actually zip myself across using the pool cable or the pool winch, and as soon as I land on top of theirs, I will just grab my bolter, seeing as they have their window down, and the driver will probably be extremely shocked as he feels a barrel pressed to his head. And he just leans down. Pull over.
Do a command test -20. You can do a intimidate check if you want.
Alright. And intimidate command. The same. So, making sure. Work. Alright. -20. Good job.
Whatever is higher. Okay, you don't have to do intimidate if you have a higher command.
I was gonna say, I think it's gonna be the same.
Got it.
Check. -20.
Yeah, no, he's gonna
Shit's
keep
be
driving.
the same. Yep.
He's gonna keep driving and he's going to keep his hands on the steering wheel to not lose control, but he's dodging your hand with his head, basically. Do you want to shoot?
Yeah, that's my morale.
Alright. You are...
Happen.
I'm gonna give you point blank, so your distance is point blank. It's a single shot, but I'm gonna give you a -10 for the awkward position.
Alright. Easy enough. And that's...
burst fire or a single?
It will be a single.
Sick.
And then
Yep. So you're gonna hit him in
That-
the. So as you pull the trigger, he reaches up with his arm, and you just tear into the flesh through his armor. You hear a loud "Arr!" as you see the vehicle start to stare off. And he's gonna try to save it, which he doesn't. It is now out of control. The vehicle is gonna take a sharp right turn, and it's gonna head for a cliff.
As soon as I see that the enemy vehicle is acting anonymous, I tell Korax to hurry up and get behind it so Squall can jump back onto the van.
It's about two turns away from the cliff.
Does it look like it's speeding up?
No, it's still driving, essentially. Okay, what do you do?
I'm going.
go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I was going to attempt to interpose our vehicle
Yes, that works.
in
If you can
between
do
it and the cliff.
Alright. Do a operate surface minus 10.
Succeeded.
Wow, nice. Okay. You basically get a ramming action against the vehicle. What's your front armor?
Front armor is 20, I believe. No, 12.
Oh, God.
12.
Yeah, that would be a lot.
I was confirming.
Awesome. Okay, so this car is not very armored and is rare. What's gonna happen is that you hit it to the side and it starts spinning, and it basically spins 2 times and then stops. Squall, I want you to do an athletics test for me, minus 10.
I'm sorry.
Oh my God!
Wow.
So you've probably been to the rodeo. You're from the south, so you can imagine what this looks like. You look like you're riding
you're
this
gonna
like a
see-
bull.
Squall's gonna be sitting there, still strapped in, just fucking planted wide, and he's fucking holding on to the grapple hook. And you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and say, yeah. For some reason, this is something he's enjoying dearly, hence he's got this very unsettling, grating laugh. As it finally comes to a stop, and he's gonna finally just, on the rare occasion for those that know him, show a sign of disappointment in his eyes.
Nice. As soon as you stop and this cloud around you clears, you're gonna see Squall on the roof, just giving you a stern, serious look, and you get this cold chills through your body, and it looks like he's staring into your soul.
As I step out of the vehicle, I give Squall a thumbs up and tell him, "Good job. Now let's pull these sons of bitches out of this car and interrogate them."
As
I jump out of the rear of
hold
the
on.
vehicle and
Go ahead,
cover
Correct.
the.
Correct.
Sorry.
As the enemy vehicle comes to a complete stop, you hear Korax say, "Disable all occupants." And the dissector skull, which was sitting probably in the front seat, activates and starts a whirling dervish of scalpel blades, tearing apart the seats, the dash, and anything else available.
Oof. Okay, so
Disable, not dismember.
you're gonna kill him,
So
or what are you
Dustin
trying to do?
jumps
there,
out of the
Cor?
back of the vehicle and is moving towards the.
What were you trying to do? Were you trying to kill him, or?
No, I said disable.
Okay, yep, got it.
It will attack them, but basically it's just it's going crazy to distract them from whatever we're doing.
So you're gonna see sparks fly off. This
So I then.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
come up to the passenger seat. The driver's seat, and basically yank the guy out.
I'm gonna give you a 20 on this, Duskin. You're a pretty strong guy. As you walk out, you see that you tower over this man. He's quite short, and when you pull him out, you're kind of surprised. He doesn't seem like a warrior at all. He's skinny, and he's wearing what looks almost like formal attire. It's this red overall with exquisite buttons and an emblem. And you easily just pull him out of the side door, push him up against the side of the car. The guy in the back has been thrown around violently and is unconscious.
As I see that the guy in the back is basically out of it, I look over at Deskin and tell him, pull that son of a bitch out.
And he does it.
As I see Duskin bringing out his body, I go over and take off his helmet. What do I see?
So when you pull off his helmet, you're gonna see a guy choking. And his face looks... It doesn't look anything like you imagine. He looks almost alien. He has a skinny, pale face. And he looks like he has been involved in some kind of augmentation, perhaps some rejuvenate treatments. He looks unnatural. His skin is translucent, almost like jelly.
I punch him in the face, immediately uppercut.
Yep. As you punch him in the face, your strength is pretty high, your melee attack is extremely good. I'm gonna say you can do whatever you want with this guy.
Yeah, I uppercut him, and I call him Xeno Scum, and I tell him, give me your secrets.
So, you're all gonna hear this loud thud as this guy just falls to the side of the vehicle, unconscious. You look down on him, and you seem to have crushed his jaw. His jaw is just smashed kind of into his teeth, blood pouring.
This thing doesn't deserve the Emperor's grace.
So I'm walking towards him like, do not rough up too harshly our subjects.
I pull out the applicator that I made for the DNA sequence for the mutant, and I jam it into this dude's arm to get a gene sample.
It looks like a normal human. However, it has been modified somewhat.
I take this information to Korax to let him dig through to figure out what exactly this creature is.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any bindings?
I go back and grab my med kit and open it
Inspiration
up.
point, awesome voice, I love it.
Squall
Open up my
will go
med kit
ahead.
and pull out some sutures, and I hand them to Torian.
Yeah. As soon as he pulls that out, you're gonna see that James is quite obviously a surgeon. He has a bunch of medical kits, even surgical kits with him.
At this point, Squall will drop down, and for Shade and those that haven't seen him before, yeah, you'll see it looks more like someone who should be a gladiatorial contestant or a very stocky, well-built individual that when he drops to the ground, you don't even hear a sound. He is unsettlingly quiet for someone of his frame. You'll see him wrapped in a cloak that just seems to shift and meld into the environment. For the occasional time, you'll see the outlines of very worn out guard flak with the very small signs of being able to see the body glove underneath it. With a chainsaw sticking out from the backside of the cloak, a very large case on his back that you'll see him put. Looks like to those that wouldn't know that it is actually ordained, a very heretical looking and he'll sit there and pop off his mask that he's wearing, showing his respirator, showing his gray eyes and pollution scars all over his face. And say, "Here, use these," as he sits there and throws out manacles to Doc.
I manacle up the prisoner that I crushed the jaw of, And as I do so, I whisper into the prisoner's ears, "You will give us all your secrets."
The man you're talking to is
I move back round to the the driver and say, "Do we need him?"
Yes, the more information we can pull, and we can cross-check and reference what this one says.
I grab him by the hair, pull him up, smash his face against the thing, and say, "Move."
Shade is currently standing back, but he has a shock whip in his hand that he occasionally cracks to intimidate the captives.
So you can and do you? So we can just skip time ahead until they wake up, and you can do whatever medical things you want to do, James, to make that happen.
Yes, so I approach one of them and say, I tell to the group, one of my other vocational activities was enhanced interrogation.
I give medical treatment to both that need it, and then I ask the rest of the group to get back in the vehicle, secure the prisoners, and we're going to continue on to the objective.
Should we not interrogate them now?
Before we push off, Squall will do a quick look through of the vehicle, or at least what's left of it after the dissector skull got done.
I look at the condition of the patients. Will they be conscious anytime soon?
They are conscious. That's what I said. You skip time until they are conscious.
Okay. I go up to the first one, no questions asked, and I literally just start doing interrogation.
Yes. So I walk up to one with my knife and just start running my knife all over him in sort of a suggestive manner.
I'm going to use inspiration to re-roll that
Awesome.
interrogation.
Love it. Love the description, Torian. You get an inspiration point,
Yes.
and you can go ahead and roll an interrogation for me. You can alternatively do intimidate -20.
I just passed.
Good job, Torian.
Torian, what is your methodology specifically? How do you approach breaking these men?
So he approaches them in a sort of cautious manner by making them be afraid of everything that's going to happen, by sort of whispering and doing little bits of pain, and sort of makes them feel uneasy, sits them slightly off, makes them just feel awful. So he doesn't hit them as such. He doesn't want them to become numb. He wants them to feel it and imagine and become terrified.
Sorry, just to interject, Duskin is actually in the room at this stage with his las gun drawn and safety off.
Yes, it's like, you see that man there? He doesn't like me, so what do you think he's going to do to you if you don't speak?
One of them is gonna, as soon as you take off his helmet, please, don't kill me. I'm not involved with them. And as the other tries to speak, you can tell that he's mute. He's unable to speak.
Perhaps we can come to an arrangement, but I want to know everything. Speak.
Anything. Just spare me.
Tell me everything. Why are you here?
He looks back. He looks a little nervous. We were transporting a gene sample. It's for the flesh vessels.
What do you know of these flesh vessels?
It's a gang in Omicron. They took me prisoner. They're using me because I know about the Xeno. He looks more and more nervous as the other guy is staring him down.
Yeah, and as he sort of stops, I'm going, speak.
They know. We were using the xenogenetics. It's all in the shrine in the back of the car.
Interesting. Who do you work for?
Again, looks increasingly nervous. He's gonna go quiet suddenly and go pale and his team start to shake.
Shade is going to like slightly interject as he's going to approach who's interrogating him and just whisper in his ear, remove him from this crowd. He might feel more comfortable and talk more.
To help with this, I'm going to step forward with my med kit to the mute, take off his glove, take out a vial of acid, hold it up so that the other prisoner can see, and I'm going to dump the entire vial all over his hand and just hold the other guy's arm up as I see his flesh dissolving off of his hand.
You're gonna hear this
Yeah.
burning acid and then the loud shrieks of pain from the
So-
prisoner.
As he's screaming, I ask his friend, does he know who the boss is as well?
He, so you were pouring this on the guy who was talking, right?
No, the mute guy.
No, the mute.
Alright.
Yeah, the Bane-looking guy.
Yeah, as you pull him out, his mask is off. He's struggling to breathe, and he goes, "Yeah, it's them! They're the flesh vessels! They work for Nazir! Nazir!" And he's struggling to breathe as he starts to flail on the ground, kicking up more dust.
That's here. Okay.
Squall's gonna slap his respirator mask back on him for a minute to see if that keeps him, I guess, say, alive.
Yeah. So I look back at the other one who's.
"Give me my mask, please." He's pointing into the vehicle as he's choking.
I asked Duskin to go grab that and the gene seeds sample that they have in the back.
And he does.
Awesome. I want you to do an awareness test for me, plus 20.
Jesus.
James. Come on, man. 42 with plus 20? Are you for real? Oh, Lord.
I don't have awareness even trained.
Jesus.
Can I help him out?
Yeah.
It's everyone. Come on, you
No,
hoes.
I'm
Alright, okay.
gonna say one person is there with you. That's the max.
Oh.
As
Oh,
you're opening
jeez.
the trunk.
Awareness.
Holy Jesus, Octavian! The angels appear in the heavens, and it's a miracle. You have basically infravision almost for a second. You see through the back window of this car. You see a booby trap in the trunk.
Stop! He's gonna tell him about the booby trap.
It's a very simple device.
Duskin.
It's basically a string
Duskin
tied to
basically
the back. As soon as it opens, it triggers something.
So I look at the.
I basically stop dead whenever he says stop.
Nice.
I can take care of that if you want.
Please do.
If you could.
Squall will, because he's just been kind of skulking around, observing everything this whole entire time. Will pull out his multi-tool and attempt a security check on this.
Exactly.
I believe it'd be security.
Yeah. In the future, you guys don't need to say what test it is, just what your character does, and I'll give you the test. But you are correct. So you can do a security challenging. Plus
Gives me a plus 10. Squall just dismembers the whole door off of his hinges, and the whole trap comes with it, with 8 degrees of success. And he just sits there and puts the trap right in front of the guys being interrogated.
the guy
So-
laying on the floor. Do you give him the mask? Have you given him the mask by now? I'm asking you as a group.
Hold on, I want to say this.
Yes.
I gotta say this for the meme. If we take this off, will you die?
Nice.
No,
You
it
get
might have been
inspiration
dropped off. Yeah, it might have been dropped off. Yeah, I'd already said that I would.
As soon as you put it off,
Mask.
you hear.
No, but it will be extremely painful.
You're the guy.
Sorry about that. Bane memes, man. You can't do this to me. I can't resist. Yeah,
So-
Yep.
He's flailing on the
We're
ground.
basically
Mhm.
holding it to his face. We're not attaching it, but
Yeah.
So I look.
sorry, what do you call it? No, go ahead, man.
So I look at the other guy who's not got the mask and I say, "Do you want us to save your friend?"
As soon as he hears that, he's just laying in pain, an awful grimace on his face. He starts to mumble. You see that his face is kind of puffy. He looks damaged, unable to speak.
No, that was the one, the fly. There was two. So I'm talking to the one who's.
So the guy whose hand is damaged is the mute guy.
Yes, he was on the floor.
Right.
And I'm talking to his friend.
Right. He's gonna basically flail and go, I didn't know! I swear I didn't know!
Okay, well I want you to do one thing for me. I want you to relax and think very carefully about the people in your gang, and especially focus on their faces and don't resist.
Which one actually isn't all that fucked up? Which one is the one that I didn't fuck up?
So, well, as I'm saying that, I'm casting a telepathic link at this guy, and I'm telling him not to resist, basically.
Oh, jeez.
Got it.
79. So, does he try and resist me?
No. He's completely defeated at this point.
Yes. So I was asking him to basically visualize the faces of his gang and stuff like that, so I can sort of see them in my mind.
In your inner mind, you see a metallic room, dark grey surfaces, reflective surfaces. There is some kind of bubbling tubes or something behind it that's making some kind of bubbling noise. Through the door that opens, slides open, you see a man with long black beard, and looks like he has some augmentations on his face. He starts to speak. You see flashes of a few other characters, but that's the person he sort of visualizes. And
Okay.
you can do a Sinitians test, -10.
Deskin, did you grab the gene sample?
Indeed.
Go ahead and store it in the van. I look back at the prisoners.
I pass.
Excellent.
I see one that has a acid-ravaged hand and needs a mask to breathe and is also somewhat mute, versus a prisoner who has none of those disabilities. I pull up my last pistol from on my forearm mount, and I shoot the fully perfect person. That's normal. No acid burn or mute. I shoot him right in the skull, and I look over to the ravaged person, have Squall throw the manacles on, and then we put him into the van.
So you're gonna see the guy who's shackled on the ground. As soon as you're done with him, looking into his mind, he's just gonna get a bullet shot through the head, and he falls over unceremoniously as blood starts pouring out on the metal surface.
Okay. What did I get from that Sinitians test?
So, right now, you saw a vision of his superior. He was in a laboratory and he was working on something. Behind him are samples, and he was on the way there. He was captured by someone, and he was working for the person you heard the name of. He was on the way back there. And how many degrees did he get? 1?
I got 1, yes.
1. The person
Wait,
he was
is that
working
2?
The person he was working for had psychic powers. He's a psyker.
Interesting. So I say to, who do I think? Yeah, I think it's Doc who's in charge more. So Doc, come here.
I go over to Torian.
I looked into this man's mind. He was kind enough to show me the man he works for, and he appears to be a psyker.
I nod my head.
They are experimenting with xenogenetics, combining them with humans.
I nod my head. I look at Torian, clap him on the shoulder, congratulate him for this useful information, and tell him to work with Korax to generate a rough sketch of this man and try and see what modifications using Xenos genetics they actually made to these mutants.
Yes, he was also traveling back there right now. I shall do that.
You, from the trunk of the vehicle, you pick up a small, almost looks like a toolbox. But as you open it, you see several vials, and they look like samples. Yeah.
Hey, I got a question.
Yeah.
I apologize. You already know I've missed some sessions. Do we have ways to test gene samples? You said and stuff like
yes.
that.
Good. Great.
Yes.
Yeah, James has arranged that.
Squall will reach into his belt pouch, grab one of those vials, those from the altar, and also pull one out of his belt pouch, and ask you to test them. Be like, test these samples and compare them. As he hands over he's had it for a while now, a heretical gene sample or solution.
Okay,
Yep.
I grab that and one of the fresh vials, and I go for the Korax, who I let have the applicator to run through the information that I'd gathered from the two we just sampled.
Do a Forbidden Lore Xenos -10 test.
Oof.
At this stage, Duskin is just walking around the crash site, just watching the horizon.
Awesome.
Out of
Yep.
character question, who has Forbidden Lord Xenos?
Let me check.
Specific, isn't it, Xenos as well for each?
Anyone can roll this. You're basically walking around looking at the samples. You're showing it to the others, James. So
Okay,
Anyone.
-10.
Okay. I mean, I have scholastic law, so I can look at it from a scientific point of view.
Scholastic,
no.
Scholastic Lore does not give you Forbidden Lore, unfortunately.
No,
I
it doesn't.
have
I was-
Forbidden Lore. I have
I was
Forbidden
look-
Lore chemistry. Would that help me?
Yeah, it
I
might give
have
you different
chemistry.
information, but go ahead and roll that at a flat +0.
Jesus.
Oof.
Four degrees of success on the Forbidden Lore chemistry.
Awesome. Corax, your familiarity with lab samples tells you that these samples have been stolen. They're not taken from the people who transported them. Looking at the serial numbers, you're going to be able to make a cross-reference, and you know that tracing this, if you were to be somewhere where they had even superficial administratum records or the equivalent, you'll be able to tell where the samples are from because you have the serial numbers.
Okay.
Yeah, and just to clarify, by the way, Morton, the gene sample I have is the one that we picked up way back in the day when we were still it was right before we got the cat.
Yeah, I remember.
That's why I was trying to see if it seeing as he's got chemistry, you might be able to at least see it, maybe not identify it, but see if it's the same style of solution.
It's tied to that. So yeah, that's like 10
So yeah, Squall will sit there and just look at Doc, because if I remember right, Doc was with us at that mission. And be like,
yeah.
this might run deeper than we thought.
I nod my head and I say, it might, but if it does, we'll get down to the bottom of it and kill all the goddamn heretics.
What is the trajectory of this vehicle?
The vehicle itself seemed to be driving north, so towards Omnicron.
Interesting. We have more. The facility that I saw, that was down to the southeast, wasn't it? That research lab.
The East Tech Lab.
Yes, the East Tech Lab.
That's so. Every location on the world contains a briefing from a previous warband. So you have basically, yeah, it's perfect, Olis. He was just telling me. So, the only information you have about the various locations are from the Inquisition. You can at any point in time just pull it up and ask me what you know.
Okay. So he seems to have another location to be interested in now. Somewhere in Omnicron he seems to be, this gang.
I nod my head and I say, we'll go investigate them soon, but first let us find the Magnus Illuminator.
Yes.
All right, men, let's clean up the scene and get back in the van and head to the Magnus Illuminator's last known location.
Awesome. As you drive further in towards the city, do you want to make any preparations before you approach?
Do we have a 3D holographic little projector inside the van?
I'm gonna say no. You have ways to view screens and data.
Do we have
sets
a
and
map?
Yes.
Can I look at the surrounding area and try to get a better understanding of the geography?
Absolutely. Do navigate surface.
Yay, something I'm good at.
Nice.
You can have my
Please don't
assistance
suck.
if you like.
Oh,
Yeah,
no, I don't need
You,
it for
you can
once.
do it
Yay.
too.
I got 35 out of 54.
So James, the area around Wayland is completely isolated, completely guarded. It's built up on an elevated plain. It consists of several domes, and each entry point is a tunnel reaching up towards the domes. This is where the assembly stores their most precious gene seeds in the forms of vat-grown, sometimes normal birthed humans. They are basically the reserve. If a city is leveled and they are found to be mutated, they will take people from Wayland and repopulate them with that city. This is a source of pure genetics for the assembly.
Wait. So this is like a human place?
Yeah.
I look back into the group and I say, well, if you got skin underneath all your armor, you should be safe here and welcomed. I look at Korax and I shrug and say, you might want to stay covered, buddy.
This is a forge world. They will respond to my authority.
I shrug again and I say, okay.
Love it. Alright, so you're gonna enter the tunnel. Suddenly the air pressure changes in your vehicle. You're driving on clean roads, freshly paved. Everything is well maintained. Bright lumen light up the tunnel as you whoosh through it. Upon exiting the tunnel, you're met by a giant explorator vessel above you. You see that it hovers, kind of like, it looks like a world of its own. These flashlights roaming around on the planet's surface. It is hovering above 3 large domes. They kind of look like mushrooms that grow out of the planet. They are humongous. The closest one, as you pull up your map, is Wayland Lyrsek. A gate is going to close in front of you, and 2 tech priests approach from either side. Who is meeting them?
Korax.
Well, that's. I was going to say what he called Duskin at the this site goes to grab what he called the bullet that he gave to Marcellus, misses, and basically says Emperor protects.
Okay guys, what do you do?
I look over to Korax and say, save us.
I say, my character just stays deadly silent.
Well, Korax will just stop the vehicle and wait for the tech priest to approach. He will roll down the window.
Before he rolls down the window, I will look at Korax dead in the eyes and tell him if we have to kill these people to get in, then I will do it. Make sure that doesn't have to be what has to happen.
That should be unnecessary.
I do unnecessary things that are completely necessary. So, like I said, just make sure what I have to do doesn't have to be necessary.
Well, I am preparing to transmit the identity that was given to us by Nomomon.
Awesome. So, you would pull out the emblems. You're sort of ready to present the identification to them. And as he approaches, you see that he's wearing omniscient, sanctified weaponry. His robe is filled with insignia. This is a senior ranked. This is definitely a member of one of the Ordos. As he approaches from the side of the vehicle, he turns to the side. Present your binaric conspectus.
I do so.
As you show the identification, he tilts his head slightly. You see his bright yellow eyes glow up. Insufficient. You can do a intelligence test or a knowledge mechanicus +10.
Six degrees of success on the common lore Adeptus Mechanicus.
Sick. So you know that a binaric conspectus is basically it's a very complex code that proves that you're capable of basically inhuman or nearly superhuman computation, and it is usually presented in technolingua. It's a verbal presentation.
Okay. So can I do it?
Yep. So you can do a minus 10 technolingua tests.
Ooh. Let's see how this goes. Oh, nice.
Excellent. So the rest of you are gonna hear basically a 28k modem start to beep. It's just a bunch of beeping noises back and forth. As you speak a sentence, he speaks another. You go through the basic code. It's basically a test that you throw back and forth to each other. He very quickly, with a mechanical motion, kind of leans back and then nods once. The gate opens. What do you do?
Continue forward.
Awesome. Those of you who are tech priests and who read up on this on the way there are going to read that the Magos General constructed a system where the algorithmic poetry of your binaric construct determines how far you can go in your quest for knowledge on the planet. It's kind of a way to mitigate rank or status in the cult mechanicus.
Hi, I'm Preceptor Diana.
Where
I'll
it's just
explain
like,
the details of this.
Where it's just like a pre-prepared thing. What was that? It was some kind of voice. Diana?
That's what I don't know.
Yeah, I heard that
We
too.
had a tutorial.
Where did that come from?
Fuck knows.
Mooncat?
It wasn't me.
Wasn't me.
That's
Not me.
I've been muted this whole time, so
correct.
Same here.
Is this something on the
Eh.
website? That was weird.
That was weird.
yeah,
fuck?
it sounded like it.
Wow. Okay, well.
Priest.
So anyway, you're gonna know that it's basically... It was saying something relevant to the game too, I think. Wasn't
It's
it?
what fuckery.
It sounded like it.
Yeah.
What?
That was weird. Anyway, so you know what it is now, and you're ready to present it again. So it's going to be an easier test next time.
Okay.
As you drive up to the city, you're going to see people start to emerge in the horizon. You're blinded by this soft blue shimmering light through the filtered glass dome. It is a majestic city in front of you. It has kind of Romanesque, Gothic architecture, pastel colors, clean streets, and as you drive up, you see that it can't house more than a few thousand people. A servo skull is hovering above your vehicle as you approach, and it's just flying through the air at very fast speed. There are also servitors running after your vehicle, armed. You hear a loud voice in Binaric telling you that you have 2 hours in the city.
Okay.
There is a servo skull hovering above your vehicle, and several Skitari keep an eye on you from elevated pathways above. You see road wheelers occasionally driving by. There are these almost archaic-looking streets. Imagine kind of like steampunk almost. And everything is perfectly maintained and clean. And as you see people appear from buildings in your surroundings, they are... There it is again.
Yes, again.
Hey, Korax, I only saw your mic being active. Could it be coming from you?
I suppose it could be, but I don't know how I would be doing it.
No. Okay, well, let's see if it happens here. So yeah, basically you're in the city. You can choose, do you want to follow the servo skull, or do you want to find your own place to park there?
I'll follow the servo skull for now, but I am going to send a query to the servo skull and inquire as to how to get an extension.
Right. So as you step out of the vehicle, a Skitari is watching from across the street. You all step out, and what do you do?
Yeah, this is not well.
So, just to clarify, we came here to meet someone, didn't we?
The Corpus Illuminator.
Yes. And how are we going to find him?
Okay, so this is in character?
I was talking to them. Didn't want to interrupt you, but I would have been talking to you
Also.
in the van beforehand.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yes. Because, I mean, I know a little bit. My character knows a bit about the Mechanicum because he's read a bit about it, but he knows Nomad. He knows a lot more.
Correct's response would be very careful.
Okay, well, I shall follow your lead. Should I don my attire? The warp. What was it? The warp thing where people. I'm called to sort out warp problems.
Okay, guys, what do you do?
Would Skitari assigned to an assembly member carry different rank or insignia than the rank and file?
Yes, absolutely.
That would be the first thing that I'm looking for, is any Skitari that might be bearing these unique insignia.
So, appearing out on the streets, as soon as you emerge, you were in this kind of overhang where you parked your vehicle. You're gonna see unusually fit and handsome people around you. They're wearing coats, top hats, extravagant dresses, jewelry, chrono. The atmosphere is breathable, and there is a dome that is filtering the sunlight from Tyrannus. The people here dwarf you in size. They are tall, kind of like the engineers in Prometheus, except they have colored features. They have a chiseled ivory faces, usually bright and colorful features. Some of them clearly go at great lengths to avoid you as you approach them. It seem like they look down upon you.
Looks like Voidborn.
Kind of, yeah. On one of the platforms above you, a Skitari wearing this insignia, Korax, slowly walking sideways. He's carrying a big gun.
Okay, walking sideways is in like he's patrolling, or?
Correct. And then looking over his shoulder, down on you.
Oh, okay. Well, I would take my void suit off and put it into the vehicle so I can actually sport my appropriate colors and rank and insignia.
So you do that.
I leave my void suit on.
When you
I'll take my void suit off and go with him.
When you pair what you look like, Korax.
He is a stereotypical moderate ranking tech priest. Obvious optical enhancements, as well as a very good quality, highly articulated cybernetic arm. He's wearing light armor, flak armor with carapace plates across his chest, but red robed. Obvious Mechanicus symbol on his belt with a single visible mechadendrite, utility mechadendrite. No obvious weapons.
Nice.
He would
Awesome.
appear to be of, some kind of most likely medical and or of a medical function.
I get it. Awesome. Yeah. As you make eye contact with this guitar, he stops. And he's just looking at you.
I will approach. You said he's on like an elevated platform?
Yeah, so it kind of looks like a mezzanine next to a building. And he's walking over to some stairs leading down to you.
Okay. I will approach the base of the stairs and wait.
He's going to slowly, ceremoniously walk down the stairs. Kind of like an intimidation thing. As you're pretty familiar with Skitari, you can tell that this is a senior ranking member.
At this rate, Duskin is standing right by his side, about 2 foot behind him.
He quickly looks over all of you. You have 2 hours. What is your business here?
I'm going to pull out my data slate. Basically type up a message. This is basically requesting an audience with Corpus Illuminator. And I will show it to him.
He looks confused. The Corpus Illuminator is not in Wayland. Where did you get this information? You can do a let's see, scrutiny test.
Well, I'm gonna do a little role play first.
Go for it.
The source of our information is irrelevant. You will transmit the message. You will transmit my request.
You see that he goes through some thoughts for a second, kind of leaning back. Now, which identity are you using or presenting yourself as?
Let me see. There was 3 of them. One was a logistician.
Yep. One was the Xenos and one was the Telepathicus, kind of.
Whichever one has a medical application.
That would be the Xenos. So you would have, you would basically be in charge of anything that has to do with Xeno, genetics, reports of sightings and that sort of thing. As you present it, he kind of leans back. Please share your report. Are you hunting Xenos? Have they infiltrated the heart?
That information is not. Let me see. That information is assembly level clearance only.
He is going to go through a few more of his little ticks, and then you can do any fellowship test you want, aside from intimidate.
I'm going to do deception.
Yep.
I'm just going to go for a pale.
Yep, just, you don't need to. Alright,
3
so
degrees of success.
awesome. He's going to nod once. Very well. Follow me. As you walk through the city, I'm assuming you all want to follow him.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, he just starts like wading through the crowd. Some of the menials that you spot closer into the city also look genetically gifted, but they don't seem to mind your presence at all. You're gonna see occasionally tech priests, and they have usually spotless robes. They sort of rush around you, picking up whatever trash, any trash that's left behind, anything that needs to be cleaned up. They very quickly run to it with giant vacuums attached to backpacks on their back. And there are these huge spires the further you get into the city, with beautiful bronze and gold statues. They stretch far up above the artificial clouds. The center of the city has a vast network of bridges and walkways. They connect on many levels of buildings and transportation. On top of some of the buildings you can see these biodomes and hovering personal transports. So the more you get in, the more alien you feel, basically. It looks nothing like what you've seen before. Everything is clean and perfect. The Sitari is going to walk over to a metal door in one of the largest buildings, and he's going to say, I do not know what business you have with the Illuminator, but he does not wish visitors.
This unit is aware.
You enter at your own risk. He's gonna open the door.
Okay.
I'm gonna combead back to the rest of the group we're in.
Excellent.
I'm gonna give the head nod, saying, do you want me to come with you or stay out here?
Come with us.
I go with him.
And what about me?
Stay outside.
Understood.
Keep watch.
Understood.
I'll go in with you guys.
Over the internal comms, I will. The Corpus Illuminator is an assembly member. He will not tolerate the behavior that you presented in our meeting with Noblemon. I request you, I recommend We do not speak unless spoken to.
Understood.
But I will leave my comm bead open so anybody else will be able to hear the conversation.
Beautiful roleplay. I would give you an inspiration point, but you already have to. You all enter this dark corridor, and do you want to leave someone behind? Are you all entering?
I've already
We
been
were-
left behind.
I think half of the group is still back at the vehicle.
Yeah, Torian wanted to go and meet him.
So what is Korax, Doc, and Torian?
I guess, yeah.
Shade is also with the vehicle.
Got it. You very quickly realize that you were not supposed to be here. No one was supposed to be here. It looks like an abandoned repair shaft. It has some panels on the side of the walls. It is leaking and it looks kind of broken down. This looks like a place that is just off limits. And you got the impression from the Skitari that he was not wanting or expecting any visitors.
Well, needless to say, I am scanning for security measures.
Awesome. Yeah, so you're gonna see Korak sort of walking up to the side of the room with his Auspex, slowly scanning this blue light, almost like a vertical slice, just hovering through the room. Nothing. Absolutely nothing on this level. You're gonna hear metallic water dripping from the ceiling. As you walk further in, it smells of old, rotted garbage and industry. Your boots are covered in sewage water, and you're struggling to breathe as it becomes darker. The ventilation here is not working. Your Auspex is showing cameras and sensors. They're hidden behind a black tinted glass up in the ceiling.
Okay. For all intents and purposes, Korax is approaching this facility as if this was his facility and he was the one who prepared its defenses. So just to keep that in mind.
Awesome. Yeah. So you're gonna, as you're walking in, you can see an elevator at the end of the room, at the end of the hall. What do you do, guys?
I run up to it and press the button to call the elevator up.
Nothing.
I look back to Korax and say, "Make it work."
He will attempt to find the interface.
As
And-
everyone's doing this, I am feeling out, trying to see if there's any unusual warp activity.
Yep.
When
Do
I
a
succeed
finish
with
test.
like 6 degrees of success, I think.
Awesome. Yeah, there's absolutely no psychic presence there. Anywhere you look up, you look down, nothing.
I feel much better.
Yeah. Like completely void of it, which is pretty rare, so you assume that someone has been here and cleansed this place.
And out of the corner of Torian's eye, he sees Duskin keeping an eye on him.
I just assume you're always just eyeing him up at this point.
Yep.
It's a little gay, bro, a little gay.
So, going up to the elevator, you very quickly surmise that there is a code on a little device next to the elevator. A keypad. You're meant to input a code. But it's not a code in numbers. There are shapes. There's a logical pattern to it. As you come closer, you start to hear a slight ticking noise.
All right. Let's. Korak stands still for a moment and is attempting to use his internal cogitators to analyze the symbols and try to figure out the code.
Duskgun has moved into cover.
Yep. Do a scholastic lore cryptology.
I have that. I have all stuff.
Could I aid him in this?
Yep, you get a +10. So you're both Korax and Torian. You're both leaned over this device, studying it.
Do I just make a roll? I don't know.
No. If you do an assist, it's basically +10 to his.
Okay, I assist him then. Yeah.
Yep. Sick. All right, Korax. You very quickly figure out the code and start punching in a number. As you do, you get a response. It's both tactile and noise. And you press in the code. The elevator arrives. This seems to be something that has been installed a long time ago. It's very archaic. The elevator door opens.
Okay. He
Well
will
done.
enter and wave to the other two.
I nod my head and enter into the elevator.
Just you two?
Yeah, I go in as well. It wasn't three of us going in. It's far now. I'm confused. Was it just Grey who was...
Awesome.
Yeah, I thought we agreed it was myself, Doc, and Torian.
Alright. Then we're gonna go with that. There is a little shake in the elevator before it starts to move, and you're basically lowered down one level. The door opens again. As it opens, the floor is flooded. There's water on the ground. As you step in, your boots sort of fill up halfway up with water. Looking in, you see a series of catwalks and dark corridors. They're mostly covered in filth and garbage. Someone has installed some stainless plast steel cabinets along the walls. There's this long dark corridor leading to another elevator at the end. You start to hear, very faint, the buzzing of some kind of machinery in the distance. What do you do?
Well, I move forward, but again, I am looking for danger around every corner.
Yep. You know that these little plates are probably hiding something not good. You get a very creepy feeling that this is some kind of trap.
So are they like interspersed across the walkway? Is it the entire walkway?
Exactly. So there are three on both sides, and there's one right next to the elevator you step out of. There's one in the middle, and then there's one in the far end of the corridor.
All right, I will exaggerate. I'm not actually speaking, but I will look at whoever's right directly behind me, and I will exaggerate avoiding these plates, like walking sideways, making it obvious that don't walk on that.
Yeah. Got it. Okay. Do a common lore tech -10.
Both of us?
And
Both do it.
1 degree.
wow. Very nice.
3 degrees to success.
Holy crap. Okay, well you chose the right guys to do this. Yeah, as you walk in, just as you step on a plate and you hear a little, you see a panel on the wall. It basically starts beeping. You know this procedure from before. You know how to set up a trap like this. The red beeping light, blinking light, covers the entire room, the entire hall. You're all lit up by it intermittently, like flashes. You can see each other's eyes light up with this red light. As soon as you spot it, you're gonna reflectively just open the panel, punch the right keys, and the doors stay shut. The trap in the hallway was about to activate. But with your knowledge, you basically easily deactivate it.
Awesome.
The elevator in the other end is perfectly in order, and you have no trouble operating it.
All right, who stepped on the plate?
You don't know. All of you did, and there was just a noise. And in the elevator, I want you to do a logic -10 test.
Who of us?
Any of you.
My logic sucks.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
I got 6. I got 6 degrees success.
So yes.
Sorry.
Yes. So the elevator starts moving, and there are these ferrocrete panels that are loose, and you immediately identify that and identify where to stand to basically not fall through the elevator. And
Okay.
the elevator leads down. Yeah, you can hear it screech as it grinds up against the wall. And you can do a common lore mechanicus test. Any of you.
Got it.
God.
Yeah, that's why you brought James.
James saving the day. Nice. So the elevator leads down a kind of a long cylindrical tunnel leading down 45 degrees. There is a panel on the wall with a very simple machine spirit. It seems to be connected to something behind the walls.
I called over to Corax.
Now, you very quickly just open the panel, James. And I want you to do a security test for me. +0.
Okay.
God. Oh my lord, you guys are acing this. Wow. Okay, well I guess nothing happens and you just walk down the hallway. You manage to avoid all of Samakri's tests. Very, very good job. You all get an inspiration point. As you... Yeah. Do any of you want to talk to each other or do anything?
Can we help? Is it 2 the max or is it 1? Confused.
2 of the...
Inspirations, it's just 1, right?
Oh, you can only have 1. Only 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just... Whenever there's a moment where you do something great or where you roleplay great, I just say I give it to you so that we keep it reminding it as a like a constant mechanical thing.
I
that you
got you.
always have there. Yeah.
I got
Even though I know you already have 1. So I was aware that you have it.
Okay.
Yeah. That's how you enter a...
Corax
kind of
has
a-
not spoken at all the entire time. He's been focused on...
So you're just walking, watching the walls, watching these panels, and walking down this corridor. It's gonna open up into a square catacomb, about 150 meters square in size, 480 feet. The walls, the ceilings are a maze of wires and platforms. You very quickly get these cold chills through your body, like you're not supposed to be here. There's no light on. Everything is polished and clean. Yeah, go.
Do you think he's actually here?
This unit does.
Well, then hurry the fuck up and find him. I'm tired of deactivating all these goddamn traps.
Remember, Doc. Tact.
What? We haven't even fucking met him yet. I'm just fucking getting upset now. Don't worry, I'll keep my cool. I'll keep my cool. I'll keep a lid on these beans.
He may well be listening.
Korax continues to move forward.
Awesome.
If he's listening, then I begin speaking in Technolingua.
So, Corax, you're gonna spot a reflective black material around a huge buzzing generator. Some of you might recognize it as armor plus. It's a very rare and hardy material. You see several crooked candles scattered around, a desk in front of you. This huge, well-lit, almost looks like a hangar. Most of the lights are off right now, but the lumen that on the wall next to you throw this vivid blue light onto cogitators in the room. Someone has set up, it almost looks like a basement hacker home with these improvised cogitators everywhere, wires hanging from the ceiling. And in one of the corners is a massive data loom guarded by 2 hovering cherubs. One of the cherubs is going to spot you and is going to start hovering up in the middle of the room. As you spot his eyes, it's like a creepy doll, and its face is stained with black oil.
Bring us your master.
Okay, so you're gonna say that out loud. You're gonna basically say it with full normal voice out in the room.
I'm gonna whisper to Korax first and tell him, go to the cogitators and hack them. And then in a booming voice, bring us your master.
I sort of interject and I say, what my friend means to say is, hello, we would like to speak to your master.
You're gonna hear a faint, creepy beeping noise coming from the cherub. And it's gonna hover closer to you, right above you. And then you see a blinking light on the door at the end of the hall. We can take a 10-minute break there. If anyone want to do something.
Yeah,
I got a few messages that people. Awesome. Gray. Sorry that you're
Yes,
jumping
okay.
into the middle of the action here. It's a little bit
Okay,
probably confusing for you, but hope you can keep track.
Are they still picking up our communications?
Who?
I stated that I was leaving the comms open so they could hear what was going on. I was just curious if they were still receiving our communications from down here.
Absolutely. Yep.
Cool.
Can hear everything.
Can I just ask, how quiet is it? Is it really, really quiet, or?
You can hear this mechanical, almost like a cog moving inside the cherub. But other than that, it's very quiet.
Then at the moment, what I call Duskin is going. He's got his hand in his pocket, going click, 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 click. Says, I'm muttering under his breath, Aspera dominatus, Aspera dominatus, Aspera dominatus.
I thought you gave up the shell.
No, what he called that was what he called the bullet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's got a clicker.
Okay. I thought that was what you were clicking previously.
No.
Tossing.
So he's saying basically to everyone, over here, over here, over here.
I come over. What have you found?
We're taking a break, I guess.
Oh.
7 minutes left.
Oh, look at you, right on time.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was
Hold.
having to clean up a bunch of stuff that my dogs left behind. What happened?
Our van got stolen. The Magnus Illuminator's dead. Torian got fucking blasted by a warp energy and was disintegrated. Fucking, I lost both a leg and an arm. Korax can no longer speak normally. Thank God we left fucking Aaron up top guarding our retreat, because I'm literally going to get dragged by fucking Korax back to the beginning. Torian's just dead. He's too fucked up. We'll have to come back for him.
Did I got eaten by Neds?
Shit. Okay, looks like we're gonna have to figure out some fucking Korax. When we come back, just hit me with the stem. I'll stop my own bleeding, and I'll like one arm, some Tyranids or something. I still got the power fist. They didn't take that limb off. Just my left arm.